Hello, 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 YouTube. Welcome back. Or if it's your first time, welcome to the channel. And yes, I'm not wearing a shirt right now, if you noticed. It's because it's hot in my room. It's like 77 degrees. Get over it. um, that's how I'm gonna be like that in this video. But I mean, at least the lighting is darker, so it's hard to see. I don't know. Maybe I should keep this smaller for that reason. Screw it. I just want to make a video on essentially critical thinking, and I wanted to sort of explain. Well, I wanted to try to explain the basics of critical thinking, and I guess you could say how thought works, and essentially how to get better at critical thinking. Now, before I get started, first of all, this video is unscripted, like basically every single one of my other videos on this channel is unscripted, and except for my I think the one that isn't is my book review of Chase Hughes' 6-Minute X-Ray. That one's not, or that one is fully scripted. But anyway, other than that, I think the rest are unscripted. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, I don't know how long this video is going to be, but we'll see. You know, right? It's probably like 25 minutes or something. Anyway, but I also want to say, like, I would never claim to be an expert at critical thinking or like a master at logic or a master of logic or anything like that. I consider myself, I mean, I'm certainly interested. I consider myself someone interested in critical thinking, and I definitely am someone who thinks a lot, sometimes a lot too much, or sometimes too much. Like, what was it? My former coworker told me one time. I was back at Ingles a number of days ago, and I was talking to him about my TBP model, and he was like, he just looked at me and he was like, "You got to get out of your head, man," or something. Or no, he said, "You spend too much time in your head." Is what he said. He's like, "You spend too much time in your head, man." I was like, "Yeah, maybe so." But anyway, what are you doing, Belle? What is my cat doing? I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm not gonna say like I mean, I certainly don't. I've never read any books on logic or anything. Matter of fact, I just remembered. Hold on, I have a book on critical thinking. I still haven't read it. I got it like a year and a half ago or something. Maybe like 2 years ago. But wait, where did that go? I haven't found it. Anyway, getting off topic again. I'm kind of ADHD. Yeah, whatever. So anyway, but yeah, sorry. I'm gonna be. I know people like get to the point. Get to the point. I'm trying to slowly get better at making videos. Just bear with me, okay? But yeah. So, all right. Critical thinking 101. How do we get better at thinking? Which is to learn critical thinking. Well, I mean, I feel like the first thing worth mentioning that should be mentioned is that simply making an attempt to think about something, simply thinking about something and trying to reason through a problem or an idea, trying to conceptualize a thought or like a sentence, maybe you could say. That's kind of the first step, I would say, is to just try and think about something. Yeah, so, I mean, there's a saying which is energy flows where attention goes, and it's true. So, even just the act of, like, if someone's stuff is going on, maybe like someone, I don't know, you're in a debate, you could be debating someone, the person debating someone, or you might be in the audience and someone says something. Either way, say your opponent, if you're in the debate, says something, or just either one of the people debating, if you're in the audience, says something. Like you literally just stopping and just thinking about what they said and trying to interpret what they're saying as best you can. Just that alone is powerful, because like you may end up misinterpreting what they said, but like if you just practice that, I feel like as simple as that is, like as simplistic as that is, that skill alone, and it has a lot to do with listening, really, which is kind of an art. I mean, I'd say conversation is an art, and listening is maybe the most important aspect of conversation. So, there's this idea that's a psychotherapeutic idea, but also I'd say not only that, which is that the exchange of truth is curative and healing, I would say. And as far as I can tell, that's true. I mean, my TBP model, for example, supports that, or kind of lines up with that that thought or that idea. And so, yeah, I mean, it's truth is, there's one truth, right? There's again, I'll say this again. I may as well get into it in this video. I'll just kind of go on a rant maybe, but there's no such thing as my truth, okay? We need to replace the term my truth with either the truth, or, because there's only one truth, or we can say the truth which I've been able to realize because of my experiences, or something to that effect. Like the facts which I have came to understand due to my personal experiences. Like, that's what we should say, something like that, not my truth. Oh, my truth. Okay, so you're saying, like, what has happened to you, your experience. Yeah, okay, but that's still just the truth. What happened to you, your experiences are the truth. They're facts. They happened to you. They didn't happen to someone else. They happened to you. And then if you learn things from that, like, oh, I don't know, like racism exists or whatever, which, I mean, obviously it does, but hello, Jesse Lee Peterson doesn't think it does, but anyway, Jesse Lee Peterson, he's quite the character, but it's like, okay, then, so you saw something to be true based on your experience, things that happened to you, things that you went through, like, that's still the truth. You're saying what is true, and you've been able to see that, to realize that, and to come to understand that because of your experiences and what you've done and what's happened to you. But it's still the truth. There's one truth. I mean, as a Christian, I would tell you it's Jesus, really, God, which Jesus is God. And so, that's what a Christian would say. And I am a Christian, so that's what I'll say. But I know a lot of people aren't Christians, so aren't a Christian. But so now that we've talked about that, just the simple act of stopping and just trying to think about what somebody said, or if you have an idea, stop and just really think about that idea. Just making the attempt, right, can be extremely powerful, I think, and effective in sort of trying to understand things as they are, or if it's during a creative process, trying to refine your ideas and get them organized and solid and cogent, coherent, and deep, if that's what you're striving for. If you want to write, for example, similar to Friedrich Nietzsche, you want to have deep ideas, just stopping and thinking about, okay, how can I make this better, and just going through that process. I guess something that goes along with that is this idea, I guess you could say, that is, we could ask what is thought? Like, how do we think? And, Jordan Peterson has often said that it's, especially he's talked about this when it comes to speech, is that there's an element of prayer, or it essentially is a prayer. To really think is to almost pray, because you have to want to know the answer to something, a problem or a question. And you have to really want to know the answer. You have to genuinely want the truth to be revealed to you, to genuinely see what is, right? You could say that too. And so it's interesting. It's interesting because like it's kind of a, I guess you would say there's one attitude that one must adopt, or you could, another way you could say it. Just again, Jordan Peterson might say something like this: is there's one spirit that has to possess you. You could say, and that is that spirit is the desire to the desire to see the truth, for the truth to be revealed to you, and to I guess have your perception and consciousness expanded, to have your awareness sort of broadened, I guess, if that's the right word. And so that's the only, I guess, real way to think, is to approach it in that manner, with that spirit inside you could say. But then also, well, it's worth saying, because like, sorry, my words are, essentially, if you don't do that, the alternative is essentially, let's see here. Sorry, it's getting late. I'm getting tired. But the alternative is essentially that your desires are not pure. You're not truly seeking the truth. You're trying to use your words and or your imagination, your ability to conceptualize, to just like for your own purposes, for your own I mean, again, Jordan Peterson would say hedonistic whims or something like that, or for your own like desire to control, or desire for power, etc. Right? And then that's not like really thinking critically. And well, hold on, because I guess you can think critically while still like wanting the wrong thing. Can you? Is that? I don't know. But anyway, all right. So okay, now let's move on a bit. So a couple basic things that I've noticed. These are just my observations over the years of observing people and how people think, and the differences between how intelligent people that I've met and spoken to think and talk, and how a lot of other people think and talk. So, the big one, I guess, it makes sense to talk about logical fallacies, right? Now, everyone's biased, right? Let's go ahead and get that straight. That's, go ahead and say that. Everybody's biased. Definitely me. Like, even me. I definitely am. But, like, it does seem to me to be true that the more intelligent someone is, the less likely they are to be influenced by bias, although they always will have some bias. But they're often more aware of their biases, and so just being aware of them can help lessen the effect of them, although again, understanding that they'll never fully go away. But yeah, so that's one thing. Another thing is a big one, well, and this is a logical fallacy, is ad hominem. That's been used against me a number of times, or at least 2 or 3 times, maybe more, 4 times, I don't know, recently in a couple of my recent videos. So yeah, that's a big one, I guess. Ad hominem, obviously. Straw man. Kitty, oh my gosh, there's a bug. It must be a freaking moth. Did you get it, Belle? Get it, Belle. Get it. Eat it. Just trying to get it. What in the world? What is it? I can't even see it. Like, I don't know what, like, Belle, you that slow that you can't catch it? It's flying, but, like, it looked like you got it. Anyway, obviously there's the straw man fallacy, ad hominem. What is it? Because I asked ChatGPT one time, like, give me the top 10 most common logical fallacies. I think the top 3 were, like straw man, ad hominem, and then I think the third one was affirming the consequent, which, if I remember correctly, is essentially when you say that, like something, or yeah, it's like when you assume that something always follows something. Like B always follows A, even though it's not necessarily true that. Or no, what is it? It's like, oh yeah. It's like, A happened, then B happened. So then B must have been caused by A. Yeah. When that's not necessarily true. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, affirming the consequent, I think is what it's called. But yeah. So anyway, I mean, there's a bunch of others. Like eventually, I do want to kind of study the common ones, like maybe like the top 50 most common ones. I mean, there's, I guess, infinite ones, maybe, or well, maybe thousands at least, or at least hundreds. But I would think there has to be an infinite number technically, though, right? Anyway, but yeah, and a lot of like biases, like psychological biases, are kind of logical fallacies too. Like for example, I was thinking about this earlier today. Hindsight bias, which I've noticed myself suffering from that or whatever, which is when like you regret, you're like, oh crap, I made a dumb decision, I shouldn't have done it, because you get more information in the future about a certain like situation that you were in, some predicament, or where you had to make some decision, and then you're like, crap, I made the wrong decision, why didn't I make that, I should have done that. But really, if like technically, no, you actually made the best decision given all the information that you had. So technically, like, you shouldn't feel that way, in hindsight. But again, hindsight bias, and so I guess like it's kind of a logical fallacy, because it's like, if you think about it logically, it's like, well, no, actually, you made the best decision you could with all the information you had. So yeah, and then what's some other ones? Oh, I just remembered the one. It's called what's it called? The Zeitnik? Hold on, what is it called? I gotta look it up. It's in Chase Hughes' book, The Behavior Ops Manual. Hold on. What is it called? Zeitnik effect? Zeigarnik? I guess that's what it is. Yeah, Zeigarnik, I guess. Remember I finished. Oh, yes. Zeigarnik. Okay, yeah. I guess that's how you say it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then, is this working? Anyway, essay has been weird lately. I don't know why. It keeps like, I mean, they often will update it, but then yesterday it was being weird. But I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, what else? I don't know. Other biases. I mean, obviously this. Well, that's, I guess, a fallacy, but the sunk cost fallacy I guess it's also a bias, but maybe. But anyway. Sunk cost fallacy. Oh my gosh, I just remembered a YouTuber who made a video on all the biases. Wait, what was that channel? I totally forgot about that YouTube channel until just now. It was a good channel. They had animated videos. It was like, they had like book reviews and stuff. What was that channel called? Oh my gosh, I just remember that. It's crazy. But yeah. Anyway, point is, knowing about biases and logical fallacies can help us. Never gonna be perfect, but we can at least decrease how often we fall victim to them, and also we can learn how to spot them, and that's good. Yeah. So, oh yeah, and then of course I just remembered the fallacy, which what is it? Just because someone commits a logical fallacy doesn't mean they're wrong. It's just that their reasoning could be wrong. So it's like, for example, it's like apples are red because, well, not all apples are red. That's a bad example. Okay, how about this? Some trees are stronger than others because, solely due to the reason, I should say, that some trees get more sunlight than others. That's why some trees are stronger than others. It's like, no, that's not true. That's not, a reasoning is faulty, but it is true that some trees are stronger than others. You know what I mean? You can also say like some trees are bigger than others. I mean, whichever. They both work. But yeah, so like, yeah, the fallacy. That's like the best one. Anyway, but yeah, the fallacy. But no, like, but it is often the case that if someone uses a logical fallacy, their conclusion is wrong. because of their reasoning, but not always. I guess. Yeah, not always. Definitely not always. They could still be right. It's just the way they explained it, or the reasoning, is the explanation for it, I guess, is wrong. Anyway, or the reasoning's faulty. But anyway, so yeah. All right, so okay, what else? I'm trying to think. I need to go to bed soon, but yeah, like, so critical thinking. So those, those are kind of the bare bones, basics of critical thinking, I would say. A lot of it's practice. That's the thing. A lot of it really is practice. I'll say that. Also, I think, another thing I think is very important to keep in mind is that it is true and always will be true that no matter who you're talking to, a person, like, their knowledge will always be limited. Any person will always be limited in his or her knowledge. Even if they're like an expert in a field, they're still always going to be limited. Like, they're not gonna, I don't know why I did that. I was just trying to, I was like, how close am I to my mic right now? Anyway, they're always, and so that's good to know, because sometimes, for example, I was literally talking about this in a YouTube comment the other day. This person commented on my video, and boy, I'll make an analysis of it at some point, but they made they probably made several logical fallacies. So anyway, but basically, sometimes there can appear to be a contradiction within something, for example, but then once new knowledge is found, or like we get to know more about that thing, subject or whatever, then we realize, oh, that's actually not a contradiction. It's just like how, like, in physics or whatever, we'll be like, wait, hold on, this seems to be true, but this also seems to be true, and those contradict. But then we make a new discovery, and we're like, oh my goodness, so that's how they can both be true. Like, because of this, now it makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? So at first, it seems like there's a contradiction. Like, those can't both be true, but they definitely seem to both be true. So how is that possible? Then we learn something else. Oh, because of this, and they're connected in this way or whatever. Everything is connected. That's true. Like, every single thing is connected. There's semantic distance. That's another video I want to make. It's about how everything's connected, but yeah, like, essentially, I guess, to break it down simply, we use words to describe things, and every single thing you could put a word to it. I think, at least. Maybe not God. Well, God, we have the word God, but it doesn't encapsulate God. And well, here's the thing. Technically, no word fully encapsulates anything. And the reason I would say, I think I've talked about this before, but is because God is God is the ultimate creator. So God is in everything, technically. Which also is why, it explains why psychosis, why does our brain learn to perceive categorically? Why does our brain learn to label things? Because otherwise it's just too much information. But why though? Because God is in everything. Maybe it's a proposition, right? If our brain were to always be in sheer perception mode, we would lose our minds, which seems to make sense given that psychosis is a mental disorder and seems to at least have something to do with the brain being stuck in I call it sheer perception mode. So, like, kids much more frequently perceive reality in that manner, but they still label things. It's not like 100% of the time they're in that mode, or else they would go insane. Essentially, they couldn't function. It's too much for the brain. So I don't know. Makes sense to me. Like, God is in everything. Everything you see was created. Everything you perceive or can perceive was either created by God or by humans. But God created humans. So God created everything either directly or indirectly, if you catch my drift, because God created humans and humans create stuff. So anyway, but yeah, so I think that makes sense. Let me think. Trying to think what else to explain. Critical thinking, covered biases, logical fallacies. Words. Reality is made up of words. That's good to know. It's made up of ideas, thoughts, but really words, because, well, where's the diagram? The tricle diagram. I call it the tricle diagram for now. I don't know, maybe I'll come up with a better name at some point, but it should pop up here. Come on, computer. Compute. Dude, seriously? What is wrong with you? Computer. I feel like friggin' I feel like, what's his name in Wall-E? What is it? Manuel? Manuel. and then Otto's like, hold on. Otto's like, and he goes, would you look at that? It's like, it's paper. I can use my hands. Like, man, because he thought it was like voice activated. All right, I don't know what the crap is. What is wrong? Seriously, what are you doing, computer? Hello. So if I search anything else, it just oh, there we go. Like friggin' broken computer. I gotta get dude. See, I want to get the MacBook Neo. It's not here, really. Okay. What the crap? Oh no, that's because I called it. Was it that? Hold on, IMD. I was IM. What was it, bro? I'm tripping, man. Oh, you couldn't even see any of that. Whatever. I'm trying to find it in my thing. Whatever. Anyway, I made a video about it actually. It's a triangle, and there's a circle in the triangle that's split in two. That represents pi. Everything is math, essentially. I think it's really freaking sick. Hold on, I can show you actually. It's on my blog. I'll explain it real quick. Oh wait, here we go. Triangle diagram. Where is it? Oh wait, yeah, I called it IMDC. Wait. Okay, that's the most recent one. But this, hold on. Oh wait, no. I'll explain this crap right here. I'm trying to think. I cannot remember what that stood for. I like the triangle diagram better, but it's I guess it's idea MDAC. That must be it. Okay, now so here you go. So you have this, and you have a triangle. It's not drawn the best. You can maybe see the lines are not quite straight. Whatever, who cares? Essentially, I know this is a lot, but MD stands for mirror dimension, not medical doctor. And AC doesn't stand for air conditioning. It stands for act consequentialism. Our collective beliefs, what we act like exists, which is the deepest form of reality, essentially. So what we act out. Now, an idea comes before reality, whether it's physical or just like, well, acted out reality, I guess. I used a triangle here because it's the most structurally strong shape, but also like, or at least the most structurally strong simple shape, I guess. So it starts with an idea, then essentially that idea goes into the mirror dimension, which is like where thoughts bounce off of each other, essentially in the mirror dimension, or ideas bounce off of each other in the mirror dimension. It's where all of our words go. Every word I'm speaking right now is going into the mirror dimension, which is kind of interesting to think about. But and also every word we write goes to the mirror dimension, or every word we produce too, I guess, because even I don't know, I think of like Neuralink. You know, people produce words. They don't write them, but they don't speak them either. They just think, and then it comes out. So anyway, every word we produce, it's more accurate, goes to the mirror dimension, and then essentially the thoughts, are, the ideas, all bounce off of each other. The words, the thoughts, the ideas, whatever, same thing. They all bounce off of each other, and basically the most compelling or strongest, you could say, ideas move into the collective consciousness, which maybe that's what I should put here, CC. I don't know, but But I mean, so it goes to the collective consciousness, and then we act out those ideas essentially, and it's what we've agreed upon. What we've agreed upon, like what we've agreed is true, or what we decide to act out, and that becomes our reality. Now again, I also like this because I've made the triangle blue. Oh shoot, look at that! I made the triangle blue because the throat chakra is blue. It kind of got the wrong shade, but whatever, it's fine. And yeah, and then the circle with the line through, or the horizontal line is red because like math is red, and the base chakra is like the fundamental, like the sort of hard, or like hard, not hard, but like concrete physical reality, or just like factual reality, not necessarily physical. That is like math, right? There's no like arguing with math. It simply is. But words, like, well, we can change words. We can like come up with new words. We can add words to a sentence. We can change our beliefs. We can, and also, blue, the throat chakra, but also it's kind of like English is also often blue in like school or language, or at least in America, I think it's often, blue. So anyway, math is usually red, so I feel like this made sense. Anyway. But yeah, and then, again, I kind of should, all math is based on pi, so that's why, you get it, circle, split into pi. Which, hold on, now that I'm thinking about it, shouldn't that be half a line? Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe I should change that. Pi symbol, with circle, wait, or something like that? Like, I'm trying to think. Because it's half, what is it again? Ratio of a circle circumference to its, wait, no, that's not right. Hold on. Come on, son. My computer being slow as beep today. That's kind of funny. I like that. But no, dude, I said bro, go back. Stupid computer. You piece of beep. You beep beep. Son of a beep 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 beep. You beep. I'm gonna beep beep. Okay, whatever. All right, who cares? I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. Anyway. So yeah, okay. So anyway, that's it. I should maybe change this to. I mean, it's green. I don't know. I felt like these colors and stuff made sense, but yeah. And then I think it's like, then we have our collective beliefs, what we act like exists, and then we talk about those things, right? We talk about ideas and stuff, and then we talk about. So it all just it's like a self, or like a reinforcing. A self-sustaining, reinforcing, you get what I'm saying, process. And yeah, so yeah, which also makes perfect sense if you think about it, because of what is self-consciousness. It's a loop. Literally, it's the interaction between the physical and the non-physical, like the subjective, or the objective brain and the subjective mind. Interaction between those two produces self-consciousness. So it makes perfect sense, right? It's like, oh yeah. Makes sense. Like, there is concrete physical reality, factual reality, but there's also subjective experience, and it's interesting. Reality is very interesting, but Benjamin Davies explains, essentially the subjective perspective very well. His videos are fantastic. You should go check them out. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of what inspired this, sort of. Excuse me, but yeah. Anyway, this video ended up being, way longer than 25 minutes, but who cares? Critical thinking, again, your words are the most potent creative tool that you have. They're everything, really. They are. A lot of people don't know that, but yeah, it's true. They are. It makes sense too, because it says in the Bible, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So it's like, makes sense. In the beginning was the Word. That's it. It's the basis of reality. Like, it is reality at the deepest possible level. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna go to bed. I should make a part 2 to this at some point. But yeah, critical thinking is incredibly important, and it's like slowly dying. Like if critical thinking were a person, they would just be like, not like on the brink of death, but because there's still a number of people like giving it small crumbs, or not crumbs, but like morsels of food. If critical thinking were a person, like there's still a number of people who will give it morsels, so it's still surviving, but it's getting weak, man. If it were a person, it's starting to get weak, man. So I said it. I mean, he. I guess if it were, yeah, he's starting to get weak. Critical thinking, he's getting weak, man. Still alive, definitely still alive. Definitely people out there who still think critically, but it's getting weaker and weaker. He's getting weaker and weaker, man. He's getting weaker and weaker. So anyway. Anyway, all right, okay. I need to shut up and end this video. Thanks for watching, guys. It's very fun making this video. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Hit the like button. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Yes, that would be amazing. Okay. God bless, guys. Take care of yourself. See you later. Bye.